www.attableek.com, the reviver of Iman.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أوحي إلي أنه استمع نفر من الجن فقالوا إنا سمعنا قرآنا عجبا يهدي إلى الرشد فآمنا به ولن نشرك بربنا أحدا وأنه تعالى جد ربنا ما اتخذ صاحبة ولا ولدا وأنه كان يقول سفيهنا على الله شفقا وأنا ظننا أن لن تقول الإنس والجن على الله كذبا وأنه كان رجال من الإنس يعوذون برجال من الجن فزادوهم رهقا وأنهم ظنوا كما ظننتم أن لن يبعث الله أحدا وأنا لمسنا السماء فوجدناها ملئت حرسا شديدا وشهبا وأنا كنا نقعد منها مقاعد للسمع فمن يستمع الآن يجد له شهابا رصدا وأنا لا ندري أشر أريد بمن في الأرض أم أراد ربهم رشدا وأنا منا الصالحون ومنا دون ذلك كنا طرائق قددا وأنا ظننا أن لن نعجز الله في الأرض ولن نعجزه هربا وأنا لما سمعنا الهدى آمنا به فمن يؤمن بربه فلا يخاف بخسا ولا رهقا وأنا منا الصالحون وأنا منا المسلمون ومنا القاسطون فمن أسلم فأولئك تحروا رشدا صدق الله العظيم.
ما شاء الله، جزاك الله.
جزاك الله خير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respected brothers, elders, friends, sisters, listen at home. It's a great blessing of Allah Ta'ala we have gathered here today. We've been waiting a long time, and brothers have been texting me, messaging me, and alhamdulillah, after so many weeks, we have this program in front of us. I've been telling a lot of brothers to come to this program. Why? It's a bit different to the other programs. Some sheikhs that we have invited, They came, alhamdulillah, they took part. Today we have their teacher. The scholars that have come, alhamdulillah, he is their scholar and their teacher. I'm the imam of this masjid. We should know who is my teacher. Where have I studied? Yes? And it's the sunnah of our aslaf that we study from teachers, not from Mufti Google sir. And this is my teacher. He has come to our masjid. And I'm not going to ta'rif because then he's going to put his head up and then there's going to be trouble. But just 1-2 things. He taught me for 4 years, alhamdulillah. We studied Sahih Muslim with him, Sahih Bukhari. I can see many brothers, ulama sitting in this crowd who have studied with him. One Zayd, who is the Imam of Masjid Umar, he is with us. He is also the student of Shaikh A.Rahim Sahib. Maulana Muhammad is sitting there. He is the Imam of Masjid Abu Bakr. He is the student of Shaikh A.Rahim Sahib. And I can see others, my eyesight is quite weak, but there's other brothers sitting here. And alhamdulillah, he's one of the teachers in Darul who everyone used to love. Everyone used to love Shaikh A.Rahim Sahib, except the head teacher part, where sometimes we get in trouble. Apart from that, alhamdulillah, everyone used to enjoy his lesson. And when he used to come in, when he used to teach us Sahih Muslim, he was talking about Shaykh Yunus yesterday, and today is my chance to talk about my teacher. Shaykh Yunus is, rahmatullah alayhi, is one of the greatest, or if not the greatest scholar to live on the face of this earth at this time. He passed away. But this time, I would say with yaqeen and with firm that he's one of the greatest scholars living right now in UK, and one of the greatest scholars in the world also. Alhamdulillah. So alhamdulillah, he's with us. He's got a very busy schedule. Yeah, yesterday he had 2 bayans and he has 2 bayans today. After this, he has another bayan after Asr. So he's accepted out. He's a human being. He's not an angel that comes from the sky. He gets tired. But alhamdulillah, he accepted our da'wah and he came to our masjid. So alhamdulillah, we should thank Allah. Not think that it's a Sunday, we are sitting after Zohar, or this is so long. Listen very carefully, and I can just about guarantee you will enjoy this bayan, inshallah. Everyone listen carefully. Brothers, don't look at your phones. All this phone business, don't do that. That is disrespectful to myself. Why? Because I'm and also it's disrespectful to the masjid, and it's disrespectful to the Shaykh himself. So Jazakumullah khair, we make dua that Allah elevates his rank in this world and in the hereafter. Allah gives him strength, Allah protects him from all nazar, any types of evil eye, any types of sharar from people, from ins and the jinn. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him the strength to continue doing the good work that he does.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। मौलवी साहब ने तो बहुत कुछ बोल दिया है, माशाअल्लाह। ये छोटे छोटे बच्चे क्यों जिन्नात का सुनने के लिए आए हैं? कभी डर गए, घबरा गए, मुसीबत हो जाएगी, कोई मुझे कोसेगा कि मौलवी साहब क्या कहेंगे। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह नहमदुहु व नस्तईनुहु व नस्तगफिरुहु व नु'मिनु बिही व नतवक्कलु अलैहि व नऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिन शुरूरि अनफुसिना व मिन सय्यिआति अअमालिना मन यहदिहिल्लाहु फला मुदिल्ल लहु व मन युद्लिल फला हादिय लहु व नशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्लल्लाहु वहदहु ला शरीक लहु व नशहदु अन्न सय्यिदना व मौलाना मुहम्मदन अब्दुहु व रसूलुहु सल्लल्लाहु तआला अलैहि व अला आलिहि व अस्हाबिहि व बारक व सल्लम तस्लीमन कसीरन कसीरा। अम्मा बअदु फअऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम। बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। वमा खलक़तुल जिन्न वल इंसा इल्ला लियअबुदून। वक़ाल तआला खलक़ल इंसाना मिन सलसालिन कल फ़ख़्ख़ार वखलक़ल जान्न मिन मारिजिम मिन नार फ़बिअय्यि आलाइ रब्बिकुमा तुकज़्ज़िबान। वक़ाल तआला या मअशरल जिन्नि वल इंसि इन इस्ततअतुम अन तनफुज़ू मिन अक़तारिस समावाति वल अर्दि फनफुज़ू ला तनफुज़ून इल्ला बिसुल्तान फ़बिअय्यि आलाइ रब्बिकुमा तुकज़्ज़िबान। वक़ाल तआला वयौम यहशुरुहुम जमीआ या मअशरल जिन्नि वल इंसि अलम यअतिकुम रुसुलुम मिनकुम यतलून अलैकुम आयाति रब्बिकुम व युनज़िरूनकुम लिक़ाअ यौमिकुम हाज़ा قالوا بلى شهدنا على أنفسنا وقال تعالى يا معشر الجن والإنس ألم يأتكم رسل منكم يقصون عليكم آيات ربكم وينذرونكم لقاء يومكم هذا. अच्छा इसमें जरा भूल हो गई. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم خلقت الملائكة من نور وخلق الجان من مارج من نار وخلق آدم مما وصف لكم. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام قال الله سبحانه وتعالى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. صدق الله مولانا العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ما قال ربنا وخالقنا ورازقنا من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Please recite Durood Sharif everybody. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Respected elders, brothers, friends, ladies, first of all we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for all his ni'mats. May Allah give us tawfiq to do shukr. We don't do shukr of Allah properly. We have so many ni'mats of Allah showering upon us 24/7, day and night. We should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Grateful to Allah for giving us tawfiq to perform Salatul Zuhr with Jama'at and then to sit in the masjid to hear about our beautiful deen al-Islam. Jazakallah for inviting me. I thank Maulana Ibrahim Sahab. Although I'm not worthy of all that praise which he made, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. May Allah conceal my faults. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy upon all of us. I would like to thank him and the committee and everyone for giving me the opportunity. We make dua that may Allah make the completion of your masjid quickly as well, and may Allah give us the ability to pray in that masjid as well. Today's program is about Halloween and Jinn. We need to cover 3 topics. May Allah make it easy for me. Number 1, what is Halloween and what does Islam say about Halloween? Number 2, what is Jinn? Reality of Jinn. And something about Jinn. Everybody likes hearing about Jinn. And number 3, what is Shari hukam of going to these Raqis, Ghostbusters. Shall we go to them or not? So we have to cover all 3 topics. May Allah make it easy. Halloween, you can go on the internet, explore for yourself the origins of Halloween. Something to do with Celtics, Samhain, and you have that video explaining everything. We have an article by Maulana Umar Subedar, very beautifully written, mashallah. May Allah reward him. That some time ago in Britain, in Scotland and Ireland, some people used to believe, some farmers and others, that when it is this time of the month, 31st October, November, that is the time when some of the gods come down and they try to trick people. That was time of harvest and everything. So they would try to capture something and trick people. So the people started seeing all those spirits, thinking that's gods coming down. So they had to light fires and create smoke. So because of the smokes, they can't see anything and they can't trick people, and people can be protected. Something of that origin explained in that article. So they used to do this in order to ward off and get rid of those spirits and protect themselves. This is the origin. And before celebrating something or taking part in these types of activities, we have to understand the origins of it, where it's coming from. And don't just think, oh well, it's only a party now, nobody knows about the origins, so don't worry, we just go around, have a nice time. And in today's terms, people go for trick or treat. These youngsters also go to people, Muslim boys. You know, one of my friends, I went Bradford the other day, and one of our graduates, he was telling me, Maulana Sahab, you know, on Halloween day, someone knocked on my door, and I opened the door, and it was my student. He was asking for trick or treat. I gave him a right big telling off. कि तुम मकतब में मेरे पास पढ़ने आता है और यहाँ ट्रिक और ट्रीट के लिए है तरीके. और वो कहता है, when I went out, I saw that his dad was hiding behind the car. So his dad was also with him. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. So don't just think that it's a festival, we just take part. Don't take it lightly. Go into the origins, where it's coming from. And if it's got something to do with this type of shirkiya stuff, then you have to avoid it. There was first of all this belief that the gods come down. Gods, plural. Right? God does not have any plurals. According to our Islam, God is one. He is unique. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ. So Allah is one. So thinking that gods come down is shirk. There's no plenty of gods, only one God. So this is the origins indicate that there is shirk in there. So why take part in something which started off with shirk? Because if you take these things lightly, you could end up doing shirk as well. You could end up after some time believing in these things, that yes, there are plenty of gods and they do come down and they trick people, they deceive people. Na'udhu billah, astaghfirullah. So the origins say that there is something fishy over there. Then they go out, jack hota hai na, jack-o'-lantern, something to do with that. And the origins of that is that devil came and tried to trick this farmer from his harvest. So he tricked the devil and put him on top of he got lots of crosses and put him on top of a tree, and then he put crosses around it, and he said to the devil, I'm not going to let you come down. So devil said, no, please remove these crosses so I can come down. So he made a deal with the devil that you won't let me die. Devil said, okay, promise that. But when he removed the crosses, devil came down and he started laughing at him and said, I'm going to take you. So he did something and started burning some fire or something, and devil had to run off. And then when his soul was about to be extracted, he hid himself in somewhere and burnt a light in there, and with that he went around everywhere, and he did not die. This is something like this is mentioned in that article. So they take turnips and make some eyes in there and light candle in there and walk around with that. Something like this is the origin of that jack-o'-lantern. So can we as Muslims believe in these things? That shaitan, devil can do this, and you have to play in this manner with the devil? That is also taking us towards some wrong beliefs, disbeliefs. Therefore, we should be careful in this matter as well. This is little bit about, how the Halloween is celebrated and for what reasons it is being celebrated. And we understand from here that as Muslims, we have to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to believe that the whole world is controlled and run by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not by devil, not by spirits, not by many gods. Everything is under the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what we have to do is please one and only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If Allah is pleased with us, then the whole world is ours. If Allah is angry with us, then we have lost everything, nothing is ours. So our only goal should be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We pray 5 times a day so that we can make Allah happy with us. We can please Him. We give zakah, sadaqah, khairat to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We keep roza to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We go for hajj, do tawaf, ziyarat, everything to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, these types of activities, they come and go. You will see in superstores, all these costumes lined up and all things being sold. So these festivals have been commercialized. There are some rich people up there who are making a lot of money out of these things. Out of Halloween, out of bonfire night, and then out of Christmas, and then Easter, and then all these celebrations. People make money out of them. Why should we waste our hard-earned halal money in these types of activities? Be careful and let them do what they want to do, and we do what we need to do. And we don't have to copy each and everything of theirs. And you live in London, there are other communities around you. Have a look at them. The Jewish communities, do they take part in these types of activities? No. They have their own way, own system, own schools, own colleges. In fact, once on Christmas Day, I was in Stamford Hill, and after Fajr and Zikr, we were going out, and I see some kids going with their school bags to school. So I said to him, I asked someone, but this is their Jewish school, they're still running. On Christmas Day, they were going to their school. So they have their own system, they have their holidays, they have their way of life. We as Muslims also have our way of life. We have to abide by that. And don't be pressurized into doing these types of things. And if your friends are doing it, then that does not mean you should do it as well. You should have your own way. You should not be copycats. Don't be copycats. Think carefully before you do anything. So, this is a little bit about Halloween. You can go out there, read more. There's videos on there as well, and they explain these things. Secondly, ghosts, spirits, jinns. Some people think that jinns come out as well in these days. First, we need to understand ghost and jinn. Maulana Zaid Sahab was telling me that in Maktab with his students, he talked about these ghost jinns. And the students, the pupils were thinking that ghost and jinn are the souls of dead people coming back to this world. So they say when a person dies, his soul comes back to this world. This is jinn. Now, what does Islam say about jinn? Is that what jinn is? No, that's not jinn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first of all says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Meaning, jinn is a creation. It's an entity. Like insan are a creation. خَلَقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ صَلْصَالٍ كَالْفَخَّارِ وَخَلَقَ الْجَانَّ مِنْ مَارِجٍ مِنْ نَارٍ فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. So, Islamic Aqidah is that insan is one makhluk and jinnat is another makhluk. They both cannot merge, or they are not both combined, or spirits coming down after death. This is the belief of Nasara. When we explore the books of Aqaid, and Maulana Idris Kandalvi Sahab Rahmatullahi Alayhi talks about jinn, he says that the Aqidah of Nasara is that jinnat is not another separate creation. It's just the people who die coming back into this world. If the person was pious, then his soul comes back over here in the form of a pari, in the form of a, क्या बोलते हैं उसको परी को इंग्लिश में क्या बोलेंगे? Fairies. And if the person died and he was wicked and bad person, then he comes back in the form of bhutni. है जी? क्या बोलेंगे भूतनी को? Witch. So either fairy or witch. So a good person comes back like a fairy, and a bad person comes back like a witch. And these witches, they fly on them broomsticks. And they do all sorts of stuff. So the witches, and you have to protect yourself from those witches. And if you are a nice person, you have a fairy with you, he brings you good stuff, brings you sweets and treats. This is the belief. So this is the Aqidah of Nasara. It's not the Islamic Aqidah. When a person dies, his ruh goes from this dunya and he goes into another world. And the world where he or she goes is much more vast and expanded than this dunya. This dunya is very narrow in comparison to the other dunya, which is alam-e barzakh. Barzakh is vast, that's a huge world in itself. So the soul goes there, the body is buried under the ground in the qabr, and the soul departs. Now, if the soul is of a pious person, pious man, pious woman, pious boy, pious girl, then their ruh goes up into the heavens. The gates of heavens are opened before them, goes up to the arsh and falls into sajda. And Allah is very happy with that ruh, with that soul. Allah says, make barzakh easy for this soul. Make his qabr a garden for the gardens of Jannah. So the qabr is expanded. There is nur inside the qabr, and the qabr becomes a garden from the gardens of Jannah. And he has a good life. And the qabr, life of barzakh and qabr is like a guest house. When you go somewhere for a holiday, for a few days, it's like a guest house for that person. On the other hand, if the person is evil, then when the ruh is taken by Malakul Maut, the gates of heaven are not opened, they are locked. And it's not allowed to go up, and the ruh is sent down, and it goes down into Asfala Safilin, Sijjin. And then the azab starts. Azab starts for that person. Wherever the soul is, and wherever the body is, soul has some connection with the body, and these questioning and azab happen on both the ruh and the body. Just as the ni'mat and rahat appears to both the ruh and the body. So, this is where the souls and arwah are kept, either in a'la illiyin or in sijjin. And some arwah are allowed to go around and explore many things. They are curious, they want to see Jannat, so Allah allows them. So they go around, have a look at Jannat as well. And sometimes they come in dreams and inform about some things. They are not given permission to say everything explicitly, clearly. They can give some indications, so they come in dreams and give some indications. So otherwise, they are in their own world. They don't come back in this dunya like what the Nasara believe. They have their own world, they have their own things. If a person is in azab, he's in azab. If a person is in a good place, he's in a good place. That is how the arwah are kept. Now this jinn is a totally different concept. Jinnat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسِ. Jinnat are makhlooq, and they were created well before Adam alayhi salam. So Allah created this universe, and Allah created the angels, and then Allah created the jinns. The angels were created from nur, roshni, light. And jinns were created from fire, flame of fire, which is mixed with smoke. That is the origin of their creation. They were allowed to inhabit and live on this world, and they used to live here thousands of years before insan was created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This reminds me, our Maulana Bilal Sahib is a very jolly person, smiling, joking person. Someone once asked him, Maulana Sahib, you know, these people talk about dinosaurs and trinosaurs and millions of years before and billions and trillions. What are the dinosaurs? And Maulana Sahib said, dinosaurs? Jinnat ki murgi? All the dinosaurs were the chickens of Jinnat. So Jinnat ate all the dinosaurs, Jinnat ate their flesh and their bones and everything. Maybe there were a little bit of bones left here and there. So some scientists discovered it and made his own formation of dinosaur and trinosaur and these and trinoxters and I don't know whatever the names they give. And they come up with million, billion, trillion years. Allah knows best how they are talking about. Even if there were dinosaurs, then we will just say they are Jinnat ki murgi. Chicken of Jinnat, because Jinnat used to live over here before us thousands of years. You see, you hear about Iblis. Who is Iblis? He is from the family of Jinn. وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَفَسَقَ عَنْ أَمْرِ رَبِّهِ أَفَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِنْ دُونِي وَهُمْ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ بِئْسَ لِلظَّالِمِينَ بَدَلًا. كَانَ مِنَ الْجِنِّ. Iblis was from the family of Jinn. There is this book called Taziyan-e-Shaitan by Maulana Ahmad Sa'id Dehlavi Rahmatullahi alayhi. He writes in there that Iblis was one of the small jinns, baby jinns at that time. And jinns were causing a lot of mischief on the earth. Fasad, chaos, murder, killing, fighting, looting, stealing, burglar, theft. Everything they were doing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ab inko khatam karo, jinnat ko, bhagao inko. Dusri creation bana diye humne. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent armies of malaika, and these jinns were driven away. Many of them were finished off, killed by the malaika. And many were driven onto the islands and the oceans and maybe highlands and jungles and forests and these places. They were not allowed to live on open land which is inhabited. They were forbidden to come into these open areas. Allah said, I'm going to create another creation, Adam alayhi salam. He will be living over here. This is the meaning, one interpretation of Khalifa. وَإِذْ قَالَ رَبُّكَ لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ إِنِّي جَاعِلٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ خَلِيفَةً. I'm going to make a successor, Khalifa, Viceroy. So, who is Khalifa? Adam alayhi salam. Or for whom is the Khalifa? For the jinns. Because they were living here first, and Adam alayhi salam is now their successor. So, Allah Pak created Adam alayhi salam. Now, at that time when the jinnats were driven away, Iblis was, look like a very nice, humble, softy. So, he became like, sheep. However, he was a wolf in disguise. So, he worshipped Allah. He had worshipped Allah, for 2,000 years on this earth. And then he worshipped 2,000 years in the skies. So he, dressed and behaved and looked like an angel, Farishta. So now he was regarded as one of the angels. They let him inside, outsider. Chalo koi nahi, ek aadmi aa gaya, aane to isko. So he started worshipping, and he was very pious. So 4,000 years he worshipped Allah. Now, when Allah created Adam alayhi salam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to all the malaika. Now, Allah didn't create Adam alayhi salam instantly. He created Adam alayhi salam. He gathered soil from various parts of the earth. Soft, hard, various colors, white, black, red, all types of colors, and all types of mitti earth. And from there, Allah formed the body and the mold of Adam alayhi salam. And Allah made it to his original size, which was 60 feet tall, 60 yards, handspans tall. And Allah made that huge, massive, gigantic body of Hazrat Adam alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala left it like that. The soil was taken from here by Malaika, and Allah created Adam alayhi salam in Jannat. His body was left there. Iblis used to roam around, and when he saw that this new creation is coming, so he came around to have a look. He looked, and the body of Adam alayhi salam was there. It was made from clay. Now when you go to a pottery's place and you knock on some of the utensils, you can hear this kan 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 noise from there, from utensils made from clay. So he looked at the body, and it was made from clay, and it was going kan kan. So he kicked Adam alayhi salam. So the body moved and kan kan, and he said, this looks like this body from inside is hollow, and it seems that it will be easy to tempt this creation and lure him towards and attract him towards whatever I would want to do. So he made his own observation. He was clever. So he made his own observation regarding this new creation. Allah left the body like that for as long as Allah wanted to. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down the ruh. فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ أَبَى أَنْ يَكُونَ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. Allah said to the Malaika, I'm creating this creation. When I straighten him, make him and straighten him, complete the creation, and I blow my ruh and spirit in him, then all of you should fall in sajda to this creation. So the ruh comes down, and Mufassirin write that the ruh came from the mouth, the nose, the mouth, ears. Ruh went inside up to the throat. Adam as salam opened his eyes and started looking. So he sneezed. Achoo! So Allah Pak said to him, say Alhamdulillah. Adam as salam said Alhamdulillah. And the Malaika replied, Yarhamukallah. May Allah have mercy on you. This is why when we sneeze, we have to say Alhamdulillah. And the person who is sitting there should say Yarhamukallah. So the ruh then went down up to the hips. And Adam alayhi salam began to sit up. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ مِنْ عَجَلٍ. Man has been created with haste. अभी तो रूह नीचे पांव तक गई नहीं और भागना चाहते हैं आदम अलैहिस्सलाम. He's trying to run, get up and rush, even though the ruh has not gone to the feet yet. Now, when the ruh goes to the feet, and Adam alayhi salam is ready, he's seeing everything, the body is ready. Now Allah said, do sajda to Adam alayhi salam. This sajda was not sajda of ibadat, which can we say sajda of worship. This was sajda of tahiyyat, greetings. Or in other words, the sajda was for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Adam alayhi salam was just the qibla. Like Kaaba, we don't worship Kaaba. Kaaba is just a direction. We worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So even if you're in Makkah in front of Kaaba, you're not worshiping that stone, that house, you're worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So over here, the sajda was to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but Adam alayhi salam was made the qibla. So all the malaika, Allah said, فَسَجَدَ الْمَلَائِكَةُ كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ. Now, كُلُّهُمْ أَجْمَعُونَ is ta'keed dar ta'keed, which means there was no single angel who was left behind. Wherever he was, in whichever part of the world, whether the heavens or the earth, or wherever that angel was, all the angels prostrated towards Adam alayhi salam. Illa Iblis. Iblis said, no, he said that. Allah said, مَا مَنَعَكَ أَن تَسْجُدَ لِمَا خَلَقْتُ بِيَدَيَّ أَسْتَكْبَرْتَ أَمْ كُنْتَ مِنَ الْعَالِينَ. Why are you not doing sajda? I created this creation with my own hands. I told you to do sajda. Why are you not doing sajda? Are you doing takabbur, being haughty, proudy? You are from those who are going high up. And he said, أَنَا خَيْرٌ مِّنْهُ. I am better than he. خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. You created me from fire and he from earth. So how can someone who is superior prostrate in front of someone who is inferior? قَالَ فَخْرُجْ مِنْهَا فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكَ اللَّعْنَةَ إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. Allah said, get out of here. You are thrown away, expelled, and upon you is curse until the day of Qiyamah. So Iblis was driven away. Now when he was coming down, he said many things. I'm going to mislead Adam and his progeny, his children. I'm going to work hard on them. They're never going to be ungrateful. وَلَا تَجِدُ أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ. And many things. So this is the origin of jinn. Now, what do we understand from here? That jinnat are an entity, they are a mustaqil creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they are allowed to live in the highlands, in oceans, watery areas, jungles, forests, and small islands and jazair. And they are not allowed. They can come and go into inhabited areas, but they would not be allowed to reside in these areas which human beings live. They have their own world as we have our own world. They have their own way of life. They have their own desires. They have their own problems. They have, among them, they fall sick and ill as well. They grow old as well. They die as well. They have their progeny and, reproduction among them as well. And they have groups and firqas like we do as well. Among them, there will be Muslims, Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs. And then from among Muslims, all the sects we can find, there will be among them as well. And they have their own borders and parameters as well. If they want to go from one area to another area, they have to have passports, they have to have visas. And they can't travel from, other areas without these permissions. So they have their own world, and they have their own way of life. And we, as our own way of life. So sometimes what happens is, they can come and try to create some problems with us. Maybe they come to our homes, our places, like Iblis comes. Nabi Pak sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when a person comes in the house and does zikr of Allah, remembers Allah, and says salam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and then mentions Allah, then Iblis says, oh Baba, is ghar mein to Allah ka zikr ho raha hai, so we can't reside in this house. Now, when they sit down to eat, and they say, Bismillahi ala barakatillah, Iblis says, we can't have any food in here as well, because these people eat with the name of Allah. So Iblis just goes from that house. He and his children cannot sleep in that house, and they cannot eat with those people in the house. This is why when we enter a house, we have to remember Allah. In fact, in some riwayat, after saying Assalamu alaikum, read Ayatul Kursi. Because Ayatul Kursi is a form of barakah. In some riwayat, read Durood Sharif once as well. Because Durood Sharif brings a lot of barakah as well. So when you enter your house, even if there is nobody in the house, empty, still say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Say Assalamu alayna wa ala ibadillahi salihin. So in that way, the peace will come upon you, and there will be peace in the house. So this means they do try and come into our house. Shaitan comes. Sometimes jinns also try to come into our house. If you see a jinn, what do you do? Assalamu alaikum jinn sahab, khairiyat? Are you okay? How are you doing? Friends, handshake. And sometimes they do, make friendship. And with normal people, you don't have to be a great amil or something to make friends with jinn. And they can make friendship with you. So if they speak to you, you can see them, they appear before you, no problem. It's not something to worry about. They are a creation, and they're not going to harm you. Unless someone is sharir, khabith, fasadi, anadi, ziddi, stubborn, then they might try to harm you. Otherwise, normal jinns have their own way of life. Sometimes they come into our lessons of hadith and tafsir as well. There might be some jinns here as well, listening to my talk. No problem, you can come. In Darul Deoband, many jinns used to sit in Darul Hadith and study the hadith lessons. And our mashayikh, they knew they are coming, no problem. Read, study, kya hai, padho. So, they're not some creation to be scared of. They are a creation, they have their own way of life. Why should we be terrified of them? So this notion that jinns are scary, we have to be scared of them, get that out of your mind. They are a creation. Sometimes they can try to harm us. Why? These young boys go to school. Normally, generally, the whole school, 1,000 boys and girls, all friends, playing, joking, going around, games, classes, everything. But you do sometimes get some bullies, right? One bully in your class, one bully in the other class. He gives you chimti, he slaps you, smacks you on the back, runs away. And you just can't do with them. Even if you complain about them to the teacher, they have their ways, they get around with it and they get away with it. And the teacher gets angry on you rather than him. So these types of, people are called bullies. So among jinnat there can be some bullies who try to bully human beings. And they wouldn't bully someone who's strong, they'll only bully someone who's weak. So if you're weak and softy and thing, then they'll overpower you mentally, and they'll try to harm you. But if you be strong, then they can't do anything to you. First of all, let's say about being strong. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, great Sahabi, cousin of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had many students of tafsir. One of his students was Ikrimah, who was his freed slave, and he went on to become a great mufassir as well. He says that when my teacher Abdullah ibn Abbas died, I was going through a hard time, I was down, I couldn't control myself, crying, teary. Now what began to happen was, every time I start salah, the shaitan or some jinn comes in the form of Ibn Abbas with his robe and clothes, and he comes and appears before me, so I can see him, and my mind is boggled, I can't concentrate on my salah, I break my salah, I run away. I go to pray, and he comes upon me, in front of me again. So I used to struggle even performing my salah. So I thought to myself one day, iske kuch gat karna padega, kuch nikalna padega, nalaik bahut pareshan karta hai. So one day I was coming for salah, so I hid a dagger in my pocket, and I started my salah. And when he appeared before me, I took the dagger out and attacked him, and he ran away. He never came to me after that. So if you are strong, he's not going to harm you. He's scared of you. This is why some amils who do these types of things, they say that jinns will never come to harm you face to face from front. They will only come from behind you, because they're scared of you. Why? Because man is stronger than jinn. You are stronger than jinn. Remember that. Man is stronger and jinn is weaker. So when you show your strength and your vigor and your energy, then uski tatti nikal jati hai, hawa chhut jati hai uski, bhagta hai wahan se. He can't stand there. You recite some mu'awwizat, then sometimes they are ziddi, they are stubborn, and even though they are getting pain of what you're reading, but they tolerate that pain and they remain there. But if you continue, then they have no choice but to let down their arms and run away. So you have to continue with your wazifa or whatever you're doing, and then they can't harm you. So first point you need to remember is that you are stronger than them. So even if they try to harm you, be strong, and they will have to run away. Then how do we get rid of them? Let's say something happens, appears in your home or on someone, and you feel that they are being affected by these types of things. There is cure for them in Quran, in Hadith, everywhere. Our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam was once going somewhere, and this lady approached and said, Ya Rasulullah, this child of mine, something happens to him morning and evening, so I don't know what, he's just a totally different person. He screams, sometimes he doesn't eat, he doesn't drink anything, and something happens to him. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, bring him closer. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed some verses of Quran and blew on him, and he said, I'm going on my journey, take care of him, when I come back, give me a report of how he's feeling now. She said, okay. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went. When he was returning, he passed by the same village. He inquired about that lady, and she came and said, Ya Rasulullah, since you blew on him, everything is gone, nothing, he's like a normal child now. So those verses which Prophet ﷺ prayed and blew, they are mentioned in one hadith of Ubay ibn Ka'b radiyallahu anhu in Musnad Ahmad, and they were collected in the form of one booklet by our Hazrat Shaykh al-Hadith Maulana Muhammad Zakaria Sahab rahmatullahi alayhi. When someone would come to Hazrat Shaykh that Hazrat isko koi jinn win hai to isko koi dam kar de, to Hazrat would say, ye le jao padho isko aur is par dam karo. ये हदीस शरीफ में है, इससे बेहतर रुकिया कोई नहीं होगा. This is the best ruqya you can have. Hazrat Sheikh's son, Hazrat Maulana Talha Sahab, printed it in the form of a booklet, and it's available everywhere, and it's called Manzil. It's available in PDF as well. Maulana Ibrahim Sahab will give you PDF if you need it. You read those verses morning, afternoon, evening, blow on some water, give that person to drink, blow on the affected person. If you feel something in the house, you read on water and sprinkle a little bit of water on the walls and make dua. Inshallah, by the barakat and the power of those verses, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will slowly but swiftly remove everything. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Prophet of Allah, and his recitation was powerful. The verses are the same, but it depends on the reciter and his connection with Allah as well. So if the reciter is powerful and his nisbat with Allah is strong, then that nisbat and that power comes into those verses, and then those verses affect as well. But sometimes what happens is our connection with Allah is not strong, so what happens is the words are powerful, but because of our condition being weak, the power does not transfer into our dam and our amal. So we need to have our connection strong with Allah, then the power will come as well, and inshallah it will have an effect on the person for whom you are doing that. So you yourself can be a raqi as well. In your home, if something happens, get this manzil and read it. Inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect. What is in the manzil? Some opening verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayatul Kursi, final verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, Shahidallahu annahu la ilaha illahu, and then Qul id'u Allah wa id'u ar-Rahman, and verses of Surah Safat, last verses of Surah Hashr, Huwallahu alladhi la ilaha illahu wa alimul ghaybi wa shahada, some verses of Surah Jinn, and then the Qul a'udhu bi falaq wa bin nas, the 4 quls, and you read all those verses and blow, Allah will benefit. I went to Chicago some time ago. Mufti Hussain Sahab told me that there is a person over here who embraced Islam because of Ayatul Kursi. How's that? That he was a professor in the university, and he used to believe in Scientology. You know, like that actor in Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise. He believes in Scientology. So he goes into all these spirits and voodoos and all these things. So he was also a believer in Scientology. Now in his lecture, there was a Muslim student. So after lessons, sometimes they used to talk casually, like professor and students do. So once they were talking, and the professor said, yeah, sometimes these spirits come to me, and I have a hard time warding them off. So the student said, how do you ward them off? And he said, well, I sit down with the cross and water, holy water, and I take the Bible, and I read this and that, and then it takes me hours to ward them off. So the student gave him translation of Ayatul Kursi. And he said, next time that spirit comes to you, read this. Allah, there is none worthy of worship besides Him. He is the alive, He is the sustainer and controller of the whole world. La ta'khudhu sinatun wa la nawm. Sleep does not overcome Him, nor does slumber. To Him belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth. Who is He that can intercede in His presence except after His permission? And He knows what is before them, what is behind them. And they cannot encompass any of His knowledge except by His will, what He wills. And His kursi extends over the heavens and the earth. And وَسِيَا كُرْسِيُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَلَا يَؤُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا, and protecting the heavens and the earth is not a burden upon Him. It's easy peasy for Him. And He is the high, lofty, and He is the majestic. This is translation of Ayatul Kursi. So he wrote it on a piece of paper, and he said, when those spirits approach you, then you must read this. So he said, alright, do it. Now the following night, the spirits came. He got up quickly, and he started reading that once, twice, 3 times, and the spirits quickly ran away, ran for their lives. So he was amazed. See, it would take me 5-6 hours the whole night to ward them off. And today, in a few seconds, they were gone. So next day, he comes to the college, and he calls that university. What was it that you gave me? And he said, it was one verse of the Quran. What is this Quran? Quran is Kalam of Allah. And he explained Islam, Deen, Muhammad, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Rasulullah. Can I have a copy of the Quran? I want to read it. No problem. And when you give some copy to some, don't give it to each and every single person. Give it to someone who is interested in Islam. And teach them the adab of reciting Quran. That you have to be pak, clean. You have to do ghusl janabat. You can't read it while you're napak. Don't touch the Quran if you're napak. And you have to do wuzu. Do wuzu and then sit down and read. This is the adab. If you are really interested, then this is the respect of Quran. So, he taught him everything. Now he started reading the Quran. And as he read the Quran, everything opened up before him and he embraced Islam. So he became Muslim because of Ayatul Kursi. He realized the power of Ayatul Kursi in getting rid of all those jinns and spirits and whatever used to harm him and put him in great difficulties. So we have that Quran before us, and we have to have that yaqeen in it, and then inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove everything. Jinnat have their own world, and they do try sometimes to mess around, do masti, with bully human beings. But we have to be strong and, ward them off. Many times people come with these complaints. Now this is the third subject. Going to a Raqi, Ghostbusters. Now these Raqis and Ghostbusters, they do some things, but I would advise against going to them. Maulana Fazlur Rahman Sahab Ganj Muradabadi Rahmatullah Alayhi, great wali of Allah. He was asked, Hazrat, aap amaliyat nahi karte? Why don't you do some of these amaliyat? People are in need of these things. And Hazrat replied, Bhai, amil kamil nahi hota. An amil cannot be a kamil. I mean, if you want to be a pious, completely pious personality, then you go into amaliyat, then your iman is affected. Your own yaqeen is affected. Sometimes, your yaqeen is affected in such a way that you feel that you are powerful and you do everything. Not Allah. You don't think that Allah does anything. I can do this, I can do that, I can get rid of this jinn, I can get rid of that jadoo. And so this affects your iman yaqeen. Sometimes it affects on the other reverse way. Sometimes your amal does not work and you feel that why is my amal not working? So it affects your own yaqeen. This is why you can't reach that kamal if you go into these amaliyat. So this is why our mashayikh used to stay away from amaliyat. And in today's case, we see everywhere around the world. I've been to many places, UK or other places, some places more, some places less. People are too much into this jinn and jadoo. Wherever you get, Mausab, my boy, you go jadoo kar di. Mausab, mar boy ne jinn lagi gelo se. Are bhai, wo jinn kyun lag gaya? Fala Amil ke paas gaya tha. I went to so and so Amil, and Maulana sir, you know what he said? Your son, he's got 900 jinns. Why would 900 jinns have the time to come and stick to your son? Have they not got anything to do? Unki koi life hai ki nahi hai? Do they have a life or not? But these Amil, they're so clever. They look, they play mind games. They look that this person is weak, and they say, they put you into vehem and delusion, and they drag your mind to thinking that, this is happening, that's happening, this is happening, and look, that happened, the other day this happened, something came out, and I saw this blood over there, and something came from under the bed, some from the pillow. You start daydreaming and wahem, and then they drag you, and they take you to ajib, they say ajib stuff. So, I would advise against going to any Amil or Raqi or anywhere. Most of the times, 99.9% in these cases, what happens is some sort of illness, weakness, sickness, maybe mental illness, depression, sometimes some other stuff. But people can't take it, so they blame jinn. Like someone keeps failing the driving test, yeah, the jinn comes and he doesn't let me pass my driving test. But why would jinn come and make you fail your driving test? So you can't pass your exams, school mein struggling, so ke bhai jadoo kar diya hai kisi ne. The jadoo comes and it doesn't let my daughter pass. So nobody has time to do jadoo on you, because to do magic and sorcery upon someone, you have to go through a lot of struggle. You have to go to a sahir, a jadugar, magician, sorcerer. You have to pay him money. He's not going to do it for free. And then the one who wants to do sorcery upon someone, he needs something connected to the body of the person who's being, upon whom the magic is done. So you need the hair, human hair, or the nails, or something like that, and upon that we can work and do jadoo. So who's got time to come to your house and take your hair or take your nails and go to a sorcerer and pay him? Nobody's got all this time. So don't go into this wahm. Maulana Bilal Sahab at the moment is not doing it, but before he used to sit in masjid and people used to come and he used to write taweez, do dam on them. He himself was once saying that Maulana Sahab, I've been helping people for so many years. Maybe 1 in 1,000, if not 1 in tens of thousands, is affected person. Otherwise, it's all bimari, sickness, illness, depression, mental problem, and people think it's jinn jadoo. So Maulana Sahab said, sometimes it happens. He said once it so happened, Maulana Sahab in his room, small room, his kitabs everywhere, and he has a large desk. वहाँ पर किताबें और चाय और मिठाई और सब रखा रहता है. उधर 2 कुर्सियां हैं, इधर 2 कुर्सियां हैं. Some people come, some people sit on the floor, and the one who wants to talk to Maulana Sahab, they sit on the chair. So Maulana Sahab said that once this couple came, and this lady, Maulana Sahab, इसको कुछ हो जाता है, जादू है. So Maulana Sahab was talking, क्या होता है? And suddenly the jinn came. And she stood up. So everybody who was sitting in that room ran off. The whole room was empty. And one person froze in his place, he couldn't move. And he said, मैं आपको लगाऊंगी, मारूंगी. Maulana Sahab said, क्यों? आपको ये है, वो है, फलान चमक रहा. I'm going to do this to you. So Maulana Sahab stood up and rolled his sleeve. Aja, come here on this side. And looking and staring like this. Maulana Sahab also stood up and he's also staring. How do come back? Kya karega? Ye karega. Main teri khabar dunga. But the jinns, they can't harm you. They can't touch you. They can't punch you. Even if they come to your face, they just come close like this, but they can't punch you. They can't touch you. So this is Allah Pak has provided this barrier and protection for us. So it is there. So they won't be able to harm you. So Maulana Bilal Sahab knows this. So he stood up and he also did like this, but he's not coming around the table from the other side, staying on the other side, staring like this, standing up, moving around. And then Maulana Bilal Sahab, sit down, Beto. So she sat down and then he prayed something, dumb or whatever. And then within a few seconds, it left the body and she come back to her senses. So sometimes 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,000,000 cases, these things happen for some reason. Maybe the person was going somewhere and hurt some jinn or something, abused them, or maybe the person was going somewhere looking good, beautiful, and the jinn fell in love with the person, ishq. So sometimes the jinns get ishq of human beings as well. So for these reasons, sometimes they try to afflict someone. But under normal circumstances, they're not going to touch you. Maulana Bilal Sahab says, most 99.9 cases it was wahm. Only slightly, sometimes I can remember all these years, one few cases that it happens like this. Otherwise, normally, it's all, other problems. Sometimes, I went to Portugal and it was Eid day and we were going to go somewhere and they said, Maulana Sahab, please, एक लड़की है उसको जिन लग गया है, आप जरा उसका जिन उठा दें. मैं कहा भाई, it's not my line, मुझे कोई जिन भी नहीं आता है. खाली Maulana Sahab, please, you have to take जिन. तो Maulana Rashid said, Maulana Sahab, चलो ना मंजिल पढ़ के दम कर देना. मैं कहा चलो अच्छा ठीक है, फिर मंजिल. So मंजिल है, मंजिल ले ली, चले गए. So the girl was sitting in one room with a family and everywhere, and she was screaming and in a terrible state. So we sat in the kitchen and I said, bring me some water. So I read Manzil and blew on that water. And I said, इसको भी पिलाओ और तावीज़ लिख के दे दिया, पहना दो इंशाअल्लाह अल्लाह पाक. तो मैं क्या लिखा है इसमें? आयतुल कुर्सी लिखी है, कोई शिर्क थोड़ी लिखा है उसमें. No shirk or inside. If you write shirk in a tawiz, then it becomes shirk. But if you write ayatul kursi in there, how is it going to be shirk? So these days some people say tawiz is shirk, you can't wear shirk. Bewakoof hain, pagal log hain wo. They don't know the reality. It only becomes shirk if you write shirk in there. But if you don't write shirk in there, ayatul kursi, asma-ya husna, and some verses of Quran, and then it's nothing shirk in there. Sayyid ibn al-Musayyib used to write tawiz. Mujahid ibn Jabr used to write tawiz. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu anha was asked about tawiz and she said, La bas, hadhi mawathiq. There's no harm in there. This gives a little bit of sahara and support and dharas and ummeed and hope for the person. So if you give that, the person ties it, whether wears it around the neck or wears it on the shoulder, right? Then it gives a little bit of hope that inshallah because of this Allah will cure. So our nazar is upon Allah. It's not that this taweez is going to cure me, it's Allah who's going to cure me. This is how it is the kafirs and mushriks who wear amulets and think this is going to cure me. It's like some time ago there was this footballer, Portuguese, Luis Figo. He used to wear something in his neck and every time he scores a goal he kisses that. And there was this in the World Cup, this Mexican goalkeeper, he used to have a coin and he used to keep it inside his net. And every time he would make a save or a penalty, he would go and kiss that coin. So they think that this amulet or this coin is helping me. That is shirk. But if you don't believe that, you believe that Allah is helping me, this is only a source. This what I am wearing is like paracetamol. Paracetamol doesn't cure my headache. Allah cures my headache. So if you think paracetamol is curing, then that is shirk. Because you are thinking that the medicine is curing. It's not the medicine that cures. Sometimes medicine gives you more headache. So cure is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So tawheed means keeping your eyes fixed on Allah all the time. And if you move away from Allah, then this could be sometimes some form of small minor shirk. It's not the major shirk. So Mujahid used to write taweez, Sayyid bin Musayyib used to write taweez, our Mashayikh used to write taweez, our Hazrat Maulana Yusuf Mutala Sahab, he taught me how to write some taweez. Sometimes Naqsh 15, aur usse fayda hota hai. So Hazrat taught us how to write these taweez. So if you write taweez, give someone, I wrote something, said, pehna do isko. And then where we were going to Spain on that day, and we came back after 4 or 5 days. I inquired, and I said, Alhamdulillah, ladki theek hogi. Allah पाक ने ठीक कर दिया. हमने ठीक नहीं किया. किसने किया ठीक? अल्लाह ने किया. हमारे यहाँ भी एक दफे बोल्टन में एक ऐसा कज़िया हुआ. मैं तो जाता नहीं, मैं इन चीज़ों में नहीं पढ़ता, लेकिन वो चूंकि हमारे करीब के थे और बेचारे हमारे मोहसिन थे, तो उनके घर में मसला हो गया. बड़ी लड़की है, शादीशुदा है, औलाद नहीं थी उसकी यहाँ, परेशान थे बेचारे. वो ब्लैकबर्न से आ रहे थे, तो रास्ते में वो स्पूकी एरिया है, वो there's no lights and there's jungle on both sides and dark, complete dark. So it was late at night, and as they passed there, तो वो लड़की को कुछ हो गया, and she started screaming and she was driving, so people were scared ये accident कर देगी. But she started बहुत जोर से चिल्लाना and whatever. But she came home. So they said, मौलाना साहब, अब I was about to fall asleep and my wife said that चलो नहीं, वो बुला रहे, उनका फोन आया है. मैं छोड़ नहीं, यार सोने दो नहीं, कहा नहीं ये विचार के चलो नहीं आप भी. So I said okay. So you come with me. So we both went. So I said, what happened? This. So I said, okay, give me a glass of water. मैंने उस पे पढ़ा दम किया. I went inside the sitting room. She's sitting on the sofa facing that side. And so I just sat a little bit behind and I kept reading Quran, Manzil, the ayats which I knew. So her husband was standing in front, my wife was sitting on her side, and her mother was there as well. So she couldn't see me, kept reciting, and then she was talking and she was very angry at her husband, and she was speaking in Urdu. Now a young girl, British, born and bred in Britain, but she's talking in Urdu, first class Urdu. So this is a sign that something is wrong. ये ऐसा है वैसा है, फिर यूं नहीं करता है, तू बाइला है, तू वैसा है, और इस तरह की. And the husband, he was strong. The husband was really strong. He said, हाँ क्या है, आजा नहीं, मैं तेरी खबर लेता हूँ. So I saw all that, and then she looked at me and she said, oh, Maulana Sahab is here. Maulana Sahab आ गए हैं. क्या है आपको, क्या ये मेरा हस्बैंड है नहीं, बिल्कुल बाइला है, क्या है भाई, क्या प्रॉब्लम है, ये मुझको सोना ला के नहीं देता है, मुझको सोना चाहिए। मैंने कहा आपको सोना चाहिए तो आप ले आओ, आप खुद लेके जा सकते हैं, इसको बेचारे को क्यों परेशान करते हो। मुझको पैसे भी चाहिए, मुझको घर चाहिए, ये कुछ नहीं करता है। मैंने कहा ये बेचारा काम तो करता है, इनके लिए करता है, आप इस लड़की को क्यों परेशान करते हो, आप चले जाओ यहां से, आप अपना काम करो, इनको मजबूर मत करो। तो वो कहने लगी नहीं। मैंने कहा कि ये पानी है पी लो। तो उससे कहा कि भाई तुम जरा पानी, तो उसने वो पानी दिया, पानी उसने लिया और थोड़ी देर पकड़ा, she held out glass of water and then she threw it on the face of her husband. Didn't drink it. अच्छा, पड़ा हुआ पानी था। फिर मैं वहां बैठ के पढ़ता रहा, मैं फिर उससे बात की, मैंने कहा आप इसको क्यों परेशान करते हैं, वाई यू नो क्या कहते हैं, हर्टिंग अब्यूजिंग हिम। सो शी सेड दैट मुझे इनसे मोहब्बत है। मैंने कहा तो छोड़ो इनको, इनके पीछे मत पड़ो, इनकी लाइफ है, इनको रहने दो, अपनी लाइफ गुजारने दो, आप कहीं और जाओ, इनको क्यों सताते फिरते हो। एंड शी गोज अच्छा चूंकि मौलाना साहब आए हैं इसलिए मैं अब जा रहा हूं, लेकिन मैं फिर वापस आऊंगा। मैंने कहा अच्छा ठीक है, अब लेकिन आप परेशान मत करना अभी इनको। सो suddenly she was very agitated and screaming, and suddenly something happens and her shaking, and then she falls, and then she comes to her senses and she starts crying and hugs her mother, mummy sorry, mummy sorry, mummy sorry. Totally different person. So then I wrote one taviz and I said कि आप इसको ये पहना दो और इंशाअल्लाह अल्लाह हिफाजत करेंगे। पहन लिया। They used to live in another house. कुछ दिन बाद वो आए, वहां साहब वो तावीज से फायदा तो बहुत था, वो मेरे सामने आता था, आई कुड सी, लेकिन अब अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह इज डिसअपीयर्ड। बट व्हाट हैपेंड वाज, मैं एक दिन शावर करने के लिए गई तो तावीज रखी हुई थी, वापस आई तो तावीज गायब हो गई। तो दूसरी तावीज लिख दो। मैं कहा दूसरी नहीं लिखूंगा, तुमको संभाल के रखना चाहिए, जाओ यहाँ से। ये कहा मैं कोई हर वक्त तावीज ही लिखता रहूं, काम धंधा है कि नहीं। लेकिन अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह उसके बाद और डिप्रेशन है, शी हैड सम डिप्रेशन प्रॉब्लम एज वेल, इज गॉन। नाउ शी हैड वन चाइल्ड, she had another child, she has busy life, she is teaching now, nothing alhamdulillah. For the past few years everything is gone. So sometimes that some jinns do some shararat, but their cure is easy. You don't need to go to these amils and ghostbusters, or as they say, you can do it yourself. And if you do it for a few days, it will go alhamdulillah. As for jadoo, some people say jadoo. Well, that's also mentioned in hadith. There was a Jew by the name of Labid ibn Asam in Medina Sharif. He and his daughters did some jadoo and magic sorcery upon the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How? They, bribed someone to get some hair of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So when he combs the hair, and he had zulfa hair, so his long hair, some hair had fallen, so somehow someone who, some hypocrite or someone showing himself to be a Muslim, doing khidmat, and they gave him money to get some hair of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he got a few hair and gave it to the sorcerer, and he and his daughters got together and did some sorcery. Now, this had an effect on the body of the Prophet ﷺ, and his body was, really pressed, and he was feeling really weak. He sometimes used to feel that he's going to be able to do something, but he wouldn't be able to do it. Something that, will I be able to walk it from here to there or not? Will I be able to lift this thing or not? I don't have enough energy or strength. And this condition deteriorated, and it went on for nearly 6 months. But during these 6 months, he was mentally fit 100%, because he would come, he would lead salah, and his normal ma'mulat, his interaction with everyone was good, but his body was weak. Like, when you have fever, you have headache, you just feel like sleeping, lying down, you have no energy, no strength. So this is what happened to the Prophet ﷺ, and he was going through this tough time. So one night, he was praying his tahajjud, and he prayed his tahajjud, and then he lied down for a bit, And then he woke up and he said, Ya Aisha, Ash'arti anna Allah aftani fima staftaytuhu. That, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told me what is happening to me and why this ill effect and this sickness is on me. And he said, last night, inni da'awtu Allah summa da'awtuhu summa da'awtuhu. In Sahih Bukhari, 3 times. I made dua and I made dua and I made dua and I cried to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah provided the cure for me. And he said, as I was resting, 2 angels came to me. One sat by my feet side, the other by my head side. And one said to the other, what is wrong with this person? And the other said, someone has done magic on him, jadoo. And where? And he said, in his hair. Where is that hair? Well, they have been placed in one, some leaves of date palm tree. And they have been wrapped. Like, you go to a pawn shop and they wrap a pawn for you. So they have been put in that leaf and wrapped up, and they have been put inside. So B-Zarwan. And inside, below, the water is shallow, but under the water there is a stone, and under that stone it's been hidden. So what is the cure for that? The cure for that is Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq and Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. So Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the morning went with Hazrat Ali and some others, and he went to that bagh or that area, but it was all deserted, and they were not looking after it. And the leaves and the trees, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam described them ka'annaha ruusu shayateen. They were scary, everywhere, and it was like a jungle. And we went to the well. Then on the top of that well, there was all that green alki. That was all that. So he told one Sahabi to go down. He went down and he sat on the stone, and from beneath it he pulled that that pudiya, that small pack out, and he brought it up, and then he opened it, and there was the hair of the Prophet ﷺ inside, and there were 11 knots there. So Prophet ﷺ began to recite Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq and Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. In Qul a'udhu bi rabbil falaq there are 5 ayat, and Qul a'udhu bin nas there are 6 ayat, so it's total 11. So as he recited and blew, the knot itself started to open up. So 1 ayat and 1 knot opens up. 2nd ayat, 2nd one, 3rd one, 4th one, 5th one, 6th one, 7th, 8th, 9th. When all 10, 11 knots open up, the Prophet's body is totally relaxed, released. All that tension and pressure on his body just immediately disappeared, faded away, and he came back to his normal strength, and he came back and thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Hazrat Aisha said, Ya Rasulullah, will you not punish that Yehudi, Labid ibn Asam? And Rasulullah replied, no, Allah has given me shifa, and I don't want to cause any fitna among people. This is ajib. Meaning, Prophet ﷺ thought that if I was to, spread this and bring him open over here, I won't be able to prove it anyway that he's done it. But if you were to expose him, then people will think a lot about magic and sorcery, and their minds will go into these things. So it's better to die it down, let it die down, and just keep it hidden, not tell anyone. So this is why he didn't tell anyone, because this was something with the Prophet ﷺ only. And this is what, because the Yahud community tried to murder the Prophet ﷺ on many occasions. And they tried to poison him, they tried to do magic on him, they tried to, bring armies and finish him off. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected him at all times. So it was only on the Prophet ﷺ. And this type of sorcery didn't happen to other Sahaba, like Abu Bakr, Umar and other Sahabas. Nothing happened to them. This was only for the Prophet ﷺ. There was some reason behind it. Allah wanted to teach the Ummah what is the cure for that. And the cure for that is in Qul a'udhu bi falaq wa bin nas. These Surah Falaq, Surah Nas, these are Mu'awwizat. This is why both surahs are called Mu'awwazatayn. So Mu'awwazatayn are Surah Falaq, Surah Nas. You read them, you blow on a person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cures. So even with regards to Jadoo, don't let your mind drift away, because this is all Wahm. There is no reality of Jadoo, and for doing Jadoo on someone you need to do a lot of effort. a hard work, and nobody's got time for all that. People are busy with their lives. People are busy making, failing to make ends meet. They have to do all their stuff. Why would they go after you and do? So don't let your minds drift away. And if you do feel something of this type, then the cure is there in Quran and Hadith. And you can cure yourself. And look at the cure of the Prophet ﷺ. Da'awtullah, summa da'awtuhu, summa da'awtuhu. मैंने दुआ मांगी इतनी दुआ मांगी अल्लाह ने मसला हल कर दिया. So Prophet ﷺ taught us, if you feel anything like this, then your only resort is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Come to Allah, cry in front of Allah, cry your eyes out, and inshallah you pray Salatul Hajat regularly, morning, afternoon, evening, and inshallah Allah Pak will cure you. And these wahem has no cure. So if you go into this wahem, OCD, क्या बोलते हैं, OCD बोलते हैं ना, obsessive compulsory disorder, तो ये वहम है, वसवसे हैं. If you go into waswasas of shayateen and wahem, then there is no cure for that. Even Jibreel alayhi salam can't cure you if he was to come down. You have to cure yourself. So if you have this waswasa bimari, wahem bimari, then you have to cure yourself. Don't fall into that trap of wahem and waswasa. Jinns don't have time for you. Sorcerers and jadoo wale don't have time for you. Maulana Sahib is telling me to tell you some more jinn stories. लेकिन अब तो मैं तो फिनिश करने वाला था. अब आप मुझे दोबारा स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं. Do you want me to start again? आप थक गए हो तो फिनिश कर दूं. सुना दूं 2-3 स्टोरी. ऐसे जिन की स्टोरीज तो बहुत अच्छी लगती हैं सबको. समटाइम्स जिन परेशान करते हैं, समटाइम्स कुछ भी नहीं होता. वहम, वी टॉक अबाउट वहम, वसवसा. सो मौलाना साहब आपने बताया था इनको, नहीं बताया? अच्छा. Once we were in the I'tikaf talking on this subject about jinns. So Hafiz Ali Sahab, he mentioned, I talked to you in the beginning that you have to be strong. Hafiz Ali Sahab said that one person in Bharuch, he used to go out to his land for farming and come back in the evening. So one night he was working in his farm field, and he was harvest time, so he got a bit late. It was Maghrib time, and then it went to Isha time. It felt really dark, and in those times there was no lights, so all dark. So when he finished his work, he had this bell ox cart. So he joined the oxes with the cart, and then he sat on the cart and he made the oxes start. And these bell oxes, they have their programs, and they just keep continuing wherever they is turning, they turn themselves and they get to the destination. They know their way, in fact. So he sat in the cart, and he came to the main road, and they are now starting. He's the only one, and it's dark, and the oxes are moving themselves, and suddenly on that bell gadi, on that cart, someone jumps up and sits in there. So he's looking there, he said, Allah jani yaati hai, man khabar se tu kaun se hai? Go away from me, I know who you are. So he said, nahi jo, I'm not going. I'm going to hit you. And now they both start wrestling at the back of the cart, and the oxes are moving themselves, and they're both wrestling. And they're both wrestling until they come to Muhammadpura. And Muhammadpura there was some lights. So when the lights came, he said, okay, I'm going now. So alright, go. So he went, and he comes home and he goes to sleep after his dinner. Nothing wrong. Those people, their iman was really strong. These days our iman has become very weak. Why it's become weak? Shall I tell you why it's become weak? Because we watch too many movies. We watch them horror movies. We watch them ghost movies. We watch Halloween movies. We watch them wearing costumes, jumping in front of your car window and screaming. And we watch the Scream movie. So these movies weaken your iman. And this is why we are always shaking. And as soon as we see something, we feel it's a jinn, something going to happen to me. Nothing's going to happen to you. Keep your iman strong. You should be mentally really strong, like this person on the ox cart. He's wrestling with the jinn, and he's not scared of the jinn. They're both jumping and hitting and punching one another, having a nice fight. And then when the light comes, the jinn says, okay, let me go, I'm going. And the jinn goes away and he goes home. So you have to be strong. Sometimes it's not a jinn. We think it's a jinn. Right? Maulana Sahib reminded me of this incident. While we were talking, I think it was Yusuf Bhai Nakhuda he mentioned. He said that, Maulana Sahib, in South Africa, this incident happened. That during the apartheid, this Habshi brother, colored brother, he was well educated and he used to come to work in the office. So he used to work in the office and they used to go at evening, nightfall, they had to go by bus to their area. And in apartheid, what happens is the colored people, they live in their other area, slums, and the other white people, they have their own area and surround posh houses. Now you can't mix, you have to go to your areas. Law, Bismillah. Bismillah. नहीं मैं सारा पीऊंगा, आपको क्यों दूं? बिस्मिल्लाह. अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह, जज़ाकल्लाह. मैंने आपकी बरकत ली, आप मेरी बरकत लो, दोनों तरफ से बरकत होगी. So this Habshi brother, he was a bit late in the office of his work, and he missed the bus. Now he can't stay in this area, and he missed the bus, and there's no other transport, so he had to walk it home. Now as he was walking and it was dark, he feels someone patting him on his back. So he looked back and there's nobody there. So he started sweating and he started running. So he ran and he ran. Now when he is running, the patting increases. When he stops and slows down, it stops. He runs and starts patting. And then he slows down and it stops. And this kept on happening. He is sweating. And he has to walk, run a long distance. He comes home, opens the door, and looks in the mirror. What happened was he was wearing a tie, and the tie had gone back, and he was running, he was flirting, and he's thinking he's the jinn. He's the jinn hitting me on my back. So it's when there's nothing there. It's your own just perception. You think it's a jinn, but there's no jinn. Maulana Abdullah Kapodravi Sahab, he, he's normally in India, but he goes to Canada as well, Toronto, he stays there. So one of his family members, his sons or someone, got a council house in an area, neighborhood. Now, in the evening, they said that, Baji, यहाँ तो रात ना रोज जिन आए. कहाँ? तो कि वहाँ वो झाड़ है ना, दरख्त है, वहाँ एक काला जिन आके खड़ा रहता है. Maulana Sahab said, मुझे believe नहीं करने का, ऐसा बकवास है, बेकार है. And Maulana Abdullah Kapodri Sahab is a very strong personality. I once heard from him that when I came to Falai Daren Tarkesar as a Muhtamim, he took one house, rent of a house for living. So they stayed a few days, and someone from the neighbor said, "Ata मैं केवा घर में रहेला सो, and तो मोटा जिन जे. ये आप कौन से घर, you living in this house, there's lots of jinns in there." So Maulana Sahab came back from Madrasa, and his wife is sitting down holding her head. And Maulana Sahab said, "What happened?" बाजू में पिला भाया है ना, नहीं तो वो कही क्या घर में तो जिन्नत छे. And Maulana Sahab said, कहीं जिन भी नहीं, बोलो वालों नहीं, हमारे वाली बोलो खोटी वगैरह मुकदमारी करा कर रहे हैं. रियल चुपचाप नहीं, कहीं ठट्टू नहीं, कुछ नहीं होता है, छोड़ो ये सब जिन भी कुछ. There's no jinn like that. Don't believe in things. This is rumors. And she said, no. So Maulana Sahab just for her tasalli, put some taweez or something. And Maulana Sahab said, I lived in that house for 30 years, nothing happened. These just people rumors about these things most of the time. So over here, Maulana Sahab was told that he had jinn hai. So in the evening, they used to close the curtains really quickly. The curtains were closed. Maulana Sahab tried to open, bhai kholo nahi, to ajwadu se. No, bhaji kholo nahi, pila hai. So Maulana Sahab said, okay, kahan se pilo ji? They gave, jhar paye ho bhai. They come, mane tale jao. No, take me there, take me to the jinn. I want to talk to the jinn. So Maulana Sahab stood up, put his shoes on, he took his walking stick, and their family, they are walking slowly behind him. They go to there, and they do see someone, and there's some light flashing on his face, and some colored person. So Maulana Sahab goes to him, and he says, "Oh bhai, hello, how are you?" He says, "Yes, hello, how are you?" "Who are you?" "Who are you?" I'm a human being. What are you doing over here?" And he said, I'm just doing my work over here. So why are you coming to do work over here? Well, there's beautiful Wi-Fi connection over here. I bring my laptop and I stand here and do my work. So the Wi-Fi computer's light going on his face, and in darkness they think there's a jinn. So Maulana Sahib said, "Kai jinn bin nathi, ya to pelo gariyo che, inu kaam karwa ave, tumi jao yanti." So it's all web. So this is how our, delusion, illusion, imaginary, images, it drags us to these things. So, aisa koi nahi, no jinn, nothing. And as I said in the beginning, even if you meet a jinn, what do you say to him? Salaam alaikum, how are you? Nice to meet you. Can you help me? Come on, give me some paisa le aao kuch mere liye. I need this. Make friendship with him. So, you should never be scared of these things. And most of the time, it's awham. Sometimes it does happen, and the cure is there for you in Quran, in Hadith. Like our Prophet ﷺ blew on that child, and the child was cured. Nothing was wrong with him. And like in Jadoo case, he made dua, and he made dua, and dua, and dua, crying in front of Allah. You don't need to go to these people. Sometimes some of these amils are good amils as well. Like someone in India, he says, read Quran. Listen to Quran. If someone reads Quran in your house, and you have Quran in your house all the time, then these, if there is some jinn or something, he hates it and he runs away. Jinns hate Durood Sharif as well. Especially among the jinns, some are, from other communities like non-Muslim, Hindu, Yahudi, jinn. So those jinns, they hate Durood Sharif. So if you read Durood Sharif, they're terrified. And you might see some videos on YouTube as well of this Egyptian. He's taking jinn out of someone. And he's reading وَالصَّافَّاتِ صَفًّا فَالزَّاجِرَاتِ زَجْرًا فَالتَّالِيَاتِ ذِكْرًا إِنَّ إِلَٰهَكُمْ لَوَاحِدٌ رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا وَرَبُّ الْمَشَارِقِ إِنَّا زَيَّنَّا السَّمَاءَ الدُّنْيَا بِزِينَةٍ الْكَوَاكِبِ وَحِفْظًا مِّن كُلِّ شَيْطَانٍ مَارِدٍ لا يسمعون إلى الملأ الأعلى ويقذفون من كل جانب دحورا ولهم عذاب واصب. So when he reads this, وَيُغْزَفُونَ مِن كُلِّ جَانِبٍ, they are being struck from all corners. And duhuran, they are rejected and repelled. وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ وَاصِبٌ, and for them is an everlasting punishment. So when he reads this, then the jinn just screams. So he knows this is his chabi. So he reads it again and again. وَيُغْزَفُونَ مِن كُلِّ جَانِبٍ دُحُورًا وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ وَاصِبٌ دُحُورًا وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ دُحُورًا وَلَهُمْ عَذَابٌ وَاصِبٌ. And the jinn is shaking, and then leave the body. Sometimes they can go in the body, and they can come out as well. They come out from the hands or whatever, feet or whatever. They go inside the body because they are made from fire. They are spirit. So sometimes they can go into the body and they can come out as well, but very rare cases. So over here this was the case. The jinn exited and the person is, cured. This reminds me about Ayatul Kursi. Hazrat Maulana Shaykh Ali Thanvi Rahmatullah is written in Amal Qurani that there was this merchant who arrived in Kufa. And he was looking to rent a property for a few days, and he couldn't find any property because all properties were full, no rental properties. So someone said there is one house over there, but it's haunted. If you want to hire that, rent that. So he went to the owner, I want to rent your property. You can stay there for free. I don't want any rent. Alright, he came inside, he opened his bistara and lied down. And he was lying down, a huge jinn appeared before him. Now among the jinns as well, there are small jinns as well, there are medium jinns as well, there are giants as well. Like among human beings, these children, medium average person, and a big giant as well. So in jinn as well there is varieties. So these huge Dev, Ifritum Minal Jinn, giant appeared before him. What are you doing in this house? This is my property, my territory. And he said, your territory, nothing is your territory, you go back to your own territory. This is human being's house, we live here. And he started reciting Ayatul Kursi. Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. So jinn also recite, Allahu la ilaha illa huwal hayyul qayyum. لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات ما في الأرض له ما في السماوات ما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم يعلم ما بين خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من إلا بما شاء وسع كرسي السماوات والأرض. Now ولا يؤوده حفظهما. क्या तर्जुमा इसका? protecting the heavens and the earth is not hard upon Allah, it's easy peasy. So when he read this وَلَا يَوُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا, the jinn could not recite that with him. So the person realized this is his key. So he twisted the key. Dabaya usko chabi ko maroda. وَلَا يَوُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَلَا يَوُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَلَا يَوُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَلَا يَوُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا وَلَا يَوُودُهُ حِفْظُهُمَا. And suddenly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent some, shooting star. And that person was burnt to death there and then. And this merchant, he was tired as well. He just turned around, fell asleep. A very nice, peaceful sleep. In the morning, when he comes out, he sees some ashes there. And he was told, you last night killed the greatest jinn of this area with your Ayatul Kursi. So because he had yaqeen in him, and his Ayatul Kursi protected him. Now we are talking about, I'm sorry for prolonging, once I received this WhatsApp, that somewhere over here in London or somewhere, this girl, bichari, hijabi girl, she was going and she had to go, through a tunnel somewhere. So this man, attempted to go after her, grab her, rape her, and she ran, and she quickly, saved herself, and she was protected, and she reported to the police, and the police reported everything down. After a few days, one person was caught, and he had raped some other women in that tunnel, in that spooky area before. So he was caught, and some DNA was taken. So DNA was taken from her as well. Now the police asked him that, you raped those other women. Why didn't you rape these hijabi women? He said, I did go after her. I did, try to get hold of her, but I saw two men in white clothes, and that's what scared me off, and I had to run away. So she was asked, did you have some, one protecting with you? He said, no. So what did you do? I read Ayatul Kursi. I kept on reading Ayatul Kursi. So those two men in white clothes were two farishtas sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect that lady. So Ayatul Kursi is very powerful. It protects you. So you need protection. You have that in your Quran, in your Hadith, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why don't you take protection through them things? So this is 3 subjects covered today. Halloween. Are you going to go for Halloween celebration, trick or treat, or no? Hands up if you're not going to go. MashaAllah. Good young boys. Don't go. A trick or treat, you shouldn't be copycats. Why shouldn't we be copycats? Let them do what they want to do. And if someone comes to your house and you give him one sweet toffee, one chocolate, चलो कोई हरज नहीं, क्या है, बच्चे हैं, छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, ट्री खुश हो जाएं. मुसलमान बच्चे को मत देना, गोरा बच्चा है तो दे देना. मुसलमान बच्चा है तो वो मौलवी साहब की तरह उसको बराबर उसकी खबर लेना उसकी. और जिन्नात जो हैं, don't believe that they are dead people coming back into the dunya. Jinnat is a mustaqil creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have their own world. We should not fear them. They have their own life. We have our own life. And thirdly, we should avoid these raqis and ruqya and ghostbusters and all these things. You can cure yourself through Ayatul Kursi, through manzil, through verses of Quran, through supplicating and crying in front of Allah. Allah is there to cure you. Allah will make things easy for you. Most of the cases, people go into wahm and delusion, illusion, imaginary things. We shouldn't go for these things. May Allah protect us, our children, our family members, our homes, our society. May Allah make whole life easy for us and for all of Muslims around the world. Durood Sharif padh lo, dua kar lo. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم لك الحمد ولك الشكر. اللهم لا نحصي ثناء عليك أنت كما أثنيت على نفسك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما. اللهم زينا بزينة الإيمان واجعلنا هداة مهتدين يا رب العالمين. اللهم ثبتنا على الإيمان وأمتنا على الإيمان واحشرنا يوم القيامة مع المتقين مع مع الإيمان اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان واجعلنا من الراشدين اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من إبليس وجنوده اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الشيطان الرجيم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا يا أرحم الراحمين. O Allah, you are the most merciful among those who show mercy. Please have mercy upon us. Allah, please forgive us. Allah, please accept our sitting over here. Please, Allah, strengthen our iman. Allah, give us, proper aqaid and correct beliefs. Allah, give us your ma'rifat and your gnosis. Give us your connection. Allow us to behave properly, to worship you properly, to make our connection with you stronger. Give us your love, give us your muhabbat, and give us the love of your beloved Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Keep us steadfast on Sirat al-Mustaqim. Protect us from the evils of the environment. Protect us from being copycats and copying others. And O Allah, protect us from the shararat and evil of jinnat, and the evil of shaitan, and the evil of jadoo and sorcery, and all the evils around the world. Allah, protect us, our children, our family members. Allah, take care of us, safeguard us, protect us, and protect all the Muslims around the world. Help all the Muslims around the world. Have mercy upon the Muslims around the world. Guide all the Muslims around the world, and keep us all steadfast on Sirat al-Mustaqim. Accept our humble du'as. Be pleased with us. Give good reward to all those who organize this jalsa. Manana Ibrahim Sahab, accept his khidmat, and Allah, give him maqbuliyat, mahbubiyat, and Allah, make this masjid, construction of this masjid easy and swiftly. Allah, provide for them all the funds that are needed. Provide the funds for them as well. Give them good contractor who can do work quickly, and Allah, give us the opportunity to pray in that masjid as well, and accept our humble du'as and efforts. Be pleased with us. Give us all those good things which your beloved Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked from you. Protect us from all those evils, trials, tribulations, problems, fitnas from which he sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to seek your protection. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصل اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.